Well, I first want to start off with telling Stephanie and Dougie that you'll always be taken care of, you'll always be loved, and you have thousands of people that are going to love you and take care of you in Renata. So always remember that. Just want to start off with thanking some people. Pastor, thank you so much. St. James Church is just a beautiful church. I want to thank the police. Incredible. We have the best police in the world. The EMS, fire, TTC, and all the city staff, and especially protocol. Protocol is incredible. They did an incredible job. I want to say a special thanks to Mayor John Tory. He's bent over backwards for our family. He's filled every request. And John, I just want to thank you very, very much for supporting our family through these tough times. We're honored to have the Lieutenant Governor here, the Premier. Nothing but class, Madam Premier. We've had our differences, but today we're putting our political differences aside, and we aren't here as Conservatives or Liberals or NDP or Green. We're here for the Rob Ford Party, the party of the people. Rob was truly the party of the people, and we did do a lot of polling, and you'd see that 50% of Rob's support would traditionally vote for Liberals, 40% NDP, and we had some fiscal conservatives in there. So when they talk about Ford Nation, it's a very diverse group, and we saw that over the last few days. Rob was the champion of the teen. He was the champion of the immigrant, the new Canadian, the union worker, the frontline worker, and champion of the little guy. I always said there was a big guy that was the champion of the little guy, and that was so suitable for Rob. Rob truly believed he was the mayor of Canada, not the mayor of Toronto. And I'll tell you the reason why. I walked into his office once, and he was talking to a constituent. I think it was Edmonton. I'm not 100% sure, but out in Edmonton. And I say constituent because he believed everyone was his constituent. And he got off the phone, and I said, Rob, who were you talking to? Well, we have a supporter out in Edmonton, and they had a problem. And I said, so, let them deal with it. He goes, no, I'm going to call the mayor of Edmonton to get him to take care of it. That's what Rob was. And I'll tell you a little story about being the mayor of Canada. We went to Chicago to watch the Blackhawks with a great friend, late Jim Flaherty, myself, and Rob. It was a challenge and a half just getting him on the plane without everyone recognizing him. It's tough to hide Rob, that's for sure. Jim, we could stick in our suitcase and carry him along, and And so we got there. We had the best time ever. We laughed from the time we got on the plane, from the time we got off the next day. But I'll never forget, in between periods, we went to the owner's box, and there was a couple hundred people in there. And one of our gracious hosts started introducing Jim as the finance minister of Toronto and Rob, the mayor of Canada. So after that, I always joked around with Jim and called him the finance minister of Toronto and Rob the mayor of Canada. Rob was always willing to go out and help people. I read thousands of emails over the last couple of weeks. I was beside Rob in the hospital, and I didn't even realize the thousands and thousands of stories that are out there that I read and people shared with me over the last few days. It was just absolutely incredible. And I'm going to share with everyone a story that's no one has ever heard before. But this is classic Rob Ford. I was at Deco, working late one night, And Rob came in, I think it was around 10 o'clock at night. And he came in with a sub. He used to love going to Mr. Sub at the corner of Martin Grove and Rexdale, going to see his friend Gus over there. And he said, and he called me Jones. If you didn't know, it was Jones. We called each other Jones. He comes in, he goes, Jones, you wouldn't believe what I just did. And this was when he was mayor. He said, I went into Mr. Sub, and Gus was there. And Gus worked 16 hours a day trying to make a living. And an order came in on the phone for Mr. Sub, and the total order was about $32. But it was late at night, and Gus didn't have anyone to deliver it. I think you know where this story is going here. So Rob jumped up and, pulled out $32 and gave it to Gus, and went on to carry the 4 subs and a few, pops and that. And he went over to the house, and he decided to deliver the subs to the house. And he knocked on the door, and the people opened up, and you could just imagine, what they were thinking when they have the mayor of Toronto, delivering a sub at 10 o'clock at night. But in Rob's mind, and after he told me, I said, Rob, you're the mayor of Toronto, you can't be delivering subs. Pizza's bad enough, 30 minutes are free, but so he said, Jones, you wouldn't believe it. I met, 4 new voters, so I have them as supporters now. And he said the best thing of it all, they gave me $35 and I got a $3 tip. But that's, but again, that's classic Rob. So John, you know your new job now, right? You have to be delivering. Again, I've never met anyone who is so passionate about the people, so principled about his values. And when it came to saving taxpayers' money, making sure the government was accountable and transparent, Rob would never, ever waver. And again, he just loved the people of Toronto. And I can't tell you how grateful our family is, and will be forever grateful and indebted to this city for the love and the outpouring of support. My brother Randy said when we're walking down the street, we haven't seen this much love and support since the Blue Jays won the World Series or the Leafs won the Stanley Cup. And again, to the people of Toronto and right across this country, and we ended up having emails right across the world, we thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We love each and every one of you. And again, we'll always serve, the Ford family will always serve the City of Toronto, the province of Ontario, and this great country of Canada. And one of the best tributes I ever heard, was from Rex Murphy. And if you haven't watched Rex Murphy's tribute, please do so. Because Rob believed in government of the people, by the people, and for the people. And that was Rob Ford. Thank you very, very much. God bless each and every one of you. And Rob, I'm going to miss you like crazy. I love you more than anything in the world. And don't worry, Ford Nation will continue. We'll continue respecting the taxpayers. Thank you.